You must build a 5-story building. And this is how you get your wealth and power. Now, the first thing you work on is economics. You started practicing group economics, making your money bounce in your own community 8 to 12 times before it leaves. The second floor is politics. Our people got that backwards. They want to get into politics before they get in the economy. Backwards as hell. You won't make it. You buy every politician with the money you made on the first floor. The third floor is your court system, your police system. You control the court system so they won't be getting 40 years in jail for having marijuana. Then the fourth floor is media. You take your money off the first floor and you buy media. Black folk own 35 thousandths of 1% in media. You don't own media, you can't communicate, you can't organize, you can't motivate. The fifth floor is education. Education is a tool, just like a hammer and a saw. But you got to have an economy. See, when a kid graduates from school, the first thing you do, he should be able to go back to his own community and start building businesses and industries and drawing money into his community and holding it.
And I'm back. This is Brian HRap B. Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media, and this is 15 Minutes with HRap. Thank you for tapping in. I want to thank my parents, Dolores and John. Without them, there is no me. Without me, there is no show, so forth and so on. Thank you. Please hit that like. Hit that like. Even if you don't watch, hit the like. It is important. Hit the like button. Thumbs up, like, whatever you want to call it. I am also broadcasting live. I want you to go visit www.thaendofdabench.com. That is www.thaendofdabench.com. It is important that you do that. Support me because I have extra information on there. I have some Black History videos on there from One Mic History. And if you go on the bio or description of this episode, you'll see it. I'll show you a portion of it. And then you can go to www.thaendofdabench.com. Both of us get credit for it. Do yourself and me a favor, hit that like and do that. Today, it's going to be an interesting show, I believe. Well, it's always interesting if you ask me. Today is the top wealth killers. We are entering a phase of our lives, or in the phase of this country, in which wealth is being snatched from us at all angles. We will continue. It has been a continuous and continuum since the emancipation. We have always excel and prevail. We've always excelled at anything, any condition that we were put in. We were enslaved, and then we found out ways to open up towns and open up townships throughout the United States of America. We interwove ourselves with the natives. We went into other areas of the country and created our own towns. We will always survive and flourish. It's without a doubt. But as of late, in the last 60 years, since the great Malcolm X and the great Dr. Martin Luther King put forth an effort to get the laws to align with our freedom, with our ability to do our best, it's been a problem. There's been a wealth gap, and it is widening throughout the United States of America. They always talk about the wealth gap widening. The reason the wealth gap is widening, in my opinion, is one reason and one reason only. The Black middle class has dissipated. We either try to integrate into white society and move away from each other, or we digress and stop doing the things that we were supposed to do. A lot of people like the aforementioned Dr. Claude Anson, you saw him at the top of the program, he does not like integration. Neither do I. Neither did Malcolm X. And at the end of his life, Dr. King said he thinks he has integrated his community into a burning house. The reason we say those things is when Black people do well, this country flourishes. Other people who are in power don't want to admit those things. Take for example, 2008, the housing bubble, when they were just giving away houses at insane interest rates and people lost their everything. 45 to 55% of Black wealth was lost in those homes. Property is key. Land is key. We no longer focus on those things because we've been adapted to the city life and we're trying to be a more modern people. But one thing for sure, two things for certain: land will always be the most valuable asset on earth. If you have land, you have instant money, you have instant wealth, you have generational wealth. And we've gotten away from that. We rent. We don't own anything and we don't produce anything. So we must get back to that. And that's why I said the wealth killers of the Black communities are this. And you know what? As I always say, I speak directly to my community, but I'm talking to working class America. Now, these are the things that I think we need to pull back on. We complain about the lack of jobs in the Black community. Unemployment rate is this, and we don't have this, and we don't have that. Well, we don't create jobs as we used to. You've been duped into believing things like manual labor are no longer, that those things are beneath us. We're no longer doing that. But manual labor in its right context is the most valuable assets you can have. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, roofers, uh, people in construction throughout the United States of America, they make a king's ransom. And when we make that king's ransom, when we're in entertainment, when we're in athletics, when we're in art, we make a ton of money. But the problem is we participate in wealth killing exercises. What is a wealth killing exercise? Meaning, when you get the big pile of money, and as they, the adjective they use today is the bag. When you get the bag, you give it right back to the people who have every intention on oppressing you. You don't agree with me? Walmart said we no longer want diversity, equity, and inclusion. We don't want a diverse workforce. We don't want a diverse management staff. We don't want a diverse board of directors, but we want your money. We give them the money back. Now, if we go on to Target, well, Target, just because they're smart enough to say it, not say it out loud, that does not mean that they don't have the same principles. What we have to do is invest in what we participate in and how we do our things. The number one killer in wealth is this: giving the money back. Why are we not linking up with our friends? If most people have 4 or 5 close knit people, you can have a couple cousins, a couple people you grew up with, people that you went to school with. You have those people around you, people that you talk to. Those people and you need to get together and put yourselves in a situation to whereas you can excel at all times. If you don't want to do that, you will continue to struggle. We don't focus our money on us. Well, we think diversity is giving away our money. I would just like to ask you this: how many of our businesses and restaurants and clothing stores and our fashion as in their communities? Not a lot. You have young people who delve into the hip hop culture, and that's it. But that's not money coming to us. That's money. The hip hop culture glorifies these luxury items, and I'll get into that a little later. When we glorify these luxury items, well, again, we're taking money out of our community and putting it in somebody else's hands that may or may not even tolerate us in their presence. So what we have to do as a community is take heed of what we're doing. Start doing things like investing in ourselves, investing in our community grocery stores owned by us, invest in our dry cleaners owned by us, laundromats owned by us. And then you create opportunities for those people to expand and then hire you. Again, invest in knowing the people on both sides of the street that you live on, or if you live in an apartment building, every person on the floor that you live on. We must get back into that. The reason our ancestors from the 1800s until I would say the 1990s got along so well is because we knew each other. We got to know each other. They dropped a bomb on us called crack cocaine, and they used that bomb and they filtered in assault rifles and things of that nature. Let's not get into that. That's a symptom of the problem. That's not the problem. The problem is we must stop obtaining our goals and moving away. Well, I don't want, the first thing comes out of people's mouths is, I don't want my child in danger. The only reason your child is in danger is because we separate ourselves. If we gain wealth and stay in that community and uplift our brothers and sisters, the community itself becomes safer. You have social services for our children, after school programs and things of that nature. And then, and only then, will we be able to make things happen. When we were younger, we would clean yards. We would go to get paper routes. We would help out at the barbershop, go to the grocery store. We had things that people that look like us would pour into our children. That way, those people know our children. We know everybody's children, and it's a safe haven. Well, I'm going to show you this video about how people identify us. And then when they identify us, we are subject to what they believe we are. Here's a video, and I'm only going to show a portion, and you can go to www.thaendofdabench.com. Let me put it back on the screen. You can go to www.thaendofdabench.com and see this video in its entirety and 2 others, as a matter of fact. Here's the video. I'll be back shortly. Listen closely, and then I'll be back.
deeply rooted in America. Imagine living in a world where a drop of ancestry could dictate your entire life. This principle was known as the one drop rule, a concept deeply rooted in American history, and its echoes still reverberate today in the way that we view mixed race individuals, people like Barack Obama, Tiger Woods, and Kamala Harris. Poet Langston Hughes noted in his memoir, saying that in the US, a Negro was used to describe anyone with Black ancestry, whereas in Africa, it referred to someone that was fully Black. Well, today we're going to talk about the history of the one drop rule. And if you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemikehistory.com. Also, you like this channel, find out the Patreon page in the description below. But without further ado, let's get started.
Now, I want you to go to www.thaendofdabench.com, or I want you to go to YouTube and go to One Mike History, One Mike 1 and One Mike 2. Wonderful information there. The reason I even show those videos is because I want to enhance us and show us how powerful we are with with a tad bit of information. A drop of information like that one drop of blood made you Black. One drop of information could put you in a position to where you can excel and prepare. You find out things like how the Black community saved Cadillac. You find out where chitterlings come from. You find out where soul food comes from. Find out that Memorial Day was actually started by Black people, and a myriad of other things. Support that brother, support me, and hit that like, hit that like, hit that like, hit that like. Again, now, here's the purpose of today's show. I want to go over some of the things that are killing wealth in the Black community and working class communities. Again, I always speak directly to my community when I'm talking about people who get up and go to work every day, because contrary to popular belief, the people at the top don't like you either. Now, some of the biggest wealth killers in America is luxury items. Luxury items are destroying your wealth. Why do you have more money on your feet? Why do you have money over your shoulder strap? Why do you have more money on your pants, on your legs, on your torso, on your head, the socks, the underwear that you wear, than is in your bank account? Answer that question. Why is it that we're doing this? Just imagine. I recently have started doing something that I was very successful in. And now I'm gaining more success than on a daily basis. Lost a little bit today, but that's neither here nor there. What I want you to understand is this: if you have on $250 pair of Nike sneakers, and you have on a $700 pair of jeans, and jeans are they have jeans at $700. My jeans cost $60, and the ones I have on right now cost $40. If you have a t-shirt on or a shirt on, I remember once my son bought a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt with some type of emblem on it. It cost $70. I took him back to the store. We're not keeping this. We must put ourselves in situations to stop giving these luxury items all of our attention as well as all of our money. If we are working class individuals, I don't care if you're a millionaire, you shouldn't be spending all your money giving it back to other communities, because it's not doing you any good. The reason I'm saying this is because if we cut back on 25% of the things that we give back to the mainstream or the popular society, or whatever we want to identify it as, we will put ourselves in a financial situation that cannot be stopped. Understand what you're doing. Just imagine this shirt, $70 shirt. What if I just bought a $50 shirt? Now we got $20 to the good, right? You got $20 to the good. That's adding to your weekly or monthly wealth. You got $20. $20 won't get you anything, according to what the world tells you now. If you got on $700, or let's say you got on $200 pants, what if you just go pay $100 pants? Now that's $120 to the good. Now you got on $250 pair of shoes. What if you just bought the $100 pair of shoes? Now you got that is $220 to the good on a month, on a regular basis. Now, what I want you to understand is, how does that benefit you to have that? And I've already gone through the food and the smoking and the drinking and things of that nature. But now I want to talk about the things that are killing our wealth. Looking like you have money instead of actually having money. It does you no good. Now, am I telling you never treat yourself? No. If you don't treat yourself, you will cheat yourself. But what I am asking us to do as a community is to scale back. Luxury items, they are Black people that make these same luxury items at a discounted price. And if you really want to be luxuried out, most people with true wealth don't wear things off the rack. They don't wear Versace and things of that nature. They get their clothes tailored to fit them and only them. Nobody else will have this on but me. If you really want to look like you're wealthy, wealth is silent, rich, and poverty is loud because they won't, I made it. But when you're wealthy, you're comfortable with it. You don't care who sees it. Another thing, this is the most important thing. Understand what keeps you in a poverty or a poor situation mentally, physically, and spiritually and financially is lack of knowledge. I personally believe as a human being, we need to make sure we study something that is positive once a day. You don't have to read it. You have YouTube. You can listen to something positive and listen to something that you do nothing about. That's why I do the One Mic History thing. One Mic History give you an hour a day of something that you didn't know about and will trigger you. Well, why you need to be triggered? Because once you see that people who have less opportunity than you have done more than you, the average person will step up to the plate and start improving their lives. The second and most important thing is this. Something like the stock market is something that the whole world has made seem as if it's this complicated mathematical puzzle that it is not. It is the simplest thing that you can do. I'm going to break it down in its most simplest terms. When you deal in the stock market, this is what you get. If you have $5,000 in the bank, you take that $5,000. I don't know, the average person, I don't know what to invest in. Yes, you do. The number one streaming services, more than most likely people gonna say Netflix. The number one online shopping avenue, Amazon. The top technology companies in the world, Microsoft. That's where you put your $5,000 in. That's exactly where you put your $5,000 in. Right there. And then you look into other technology entities, like maybe even try some cryptocurrency. All you have to do is put it there and sit it there. If you sit it in Microsoft, you sit in Apple, you sit in Netflix, you sit in Amazon, divide that $5,000 by 4 and put it there and sit it there for a year. Just sit it there. You don't have to do anything. I'll see you in 365 days, $5,000. You come back, you will have at a minimum. Traditionally, you're gonna have about $500 or $5,500, maybe even $6,000 to $7,000 just for breathing. So at that point, you start looking at other things that connect to Apple. What companies are connected to Apple? What companies are connected to this? And guess what? You take that 550, you get 5,500, you go 500. You put it in Facebook. Because most of us are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and things of that nature. You put it in Meta because Meta has technology coming out. Meta put $10 billion into Africa, not because they love Africans, not because they're trying to help the African culture. African culture, the continent of Africa has the youngest population on earth. So they want those people on Twitter. They want those people on Facebook. So if I put $10 billion into the continent and get them internet, now they on Twitter and Instagram and making me money too. Remember, last week I told you Mark Zuckerberg made $250 million after purchasing it for $1 billion. That's an ad revenue. He didn't put it in his pocket, but the company itself did that. So why in the entire hell would we not make it more expansive? America burn out. Our population is older, we're not as healthy, and we don't need it because we all have it. So you take it to a place like India, you take it to a continent like Africa, you take it to Asia, and you give them fiber optics. You put 10, 12, $15 billion in the world, and bam, you get more money. While we're arguing about Kendrick and Drake, they saying Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk and his people. It's a tech war going on. They battling for tech billions while we talking about Kendrick and Lamar, hundreds of thousands. This is a wealth killer. We're not paying attention to the stock market when it's simply there in front of you. You think you don't know, but you know way more than you actually think you do. Another thing, why is it that when we get paid Instead of buying a house that will appreciate, we buy a vehicle or gold or silver or platinum, and it depreciates. The price of gold just went down. Diamonds went down. Now gold gonna fluctuate, but it ain't gonna go much lower than this. It's gonna go like this. Diamonds just went down. So why I might stop. This is worth this, and you take it back to the store. 6 months later, it's not worth what you want. You pay for it. And why do you need it? It's not helping you any. So now you walking around with a $5,000 or $50,000 chain because I can afford it. I got that paper, baby. But guess what happens after that? Then you go get that slick ride. Guess what? The average brand new car payment is $728. The average used car payment is $517. That is over $517 over 36 months, 3 years on the average used car. That's 18 grand. It's $18,000. $18,000 sitting at the parking lot of your job every day. $18,000 sitting at the parking lot of your job every day. Because you at work 8 hours a day, drive 2 hours to and from, you on the road 2 hours, you sleep 8 hours. Wow. So you got 16 hours of rest, 2 more hours of travel. That's 18 hours in a 24-hour day that you have done. That 18,000 did nothing for you. Or how about this? The 725 hours. That's damn near $50,000. And then if you do 72 months, it's $52,000, I think. I'm speedballing, but work with me. If you took that money, if you got a lesser car, I want the BMW, you can't tell me what to do with my money. Definitely can. But how about this? Remember, I told you, if you just let $5,000 sit there in your account over a year, you'll get $5,500. What happens if you put $18,000 and get a larger return? You're talking about $9,000 on that 18. So you're going to damn near flip it just for breathing. We must stop luxury bags. What is that Coach, Louis Vuitton, Dolce & Gabbana, and all those purses getting you? You walking around with $800 on your shoulder. Imagine if you would have got a lesser bag. Are you going to carry things that you really don't need? You put more stuff in your bag. You need your wallet. You need your credit cards. You need your ID and things of that nature. That's why you need an $800 bag to carry that stuff in. But guess what? If you put that in the market, you put that in something simple like Vanguard or a mutual fund where it's going to grow exponentially 13% on the average. And now you've made enough money to go purchase you a BMW. You can go. I was online today. I looked at a BMW used. Well, actually, I was looking at not a BMW. I looked at an Acura TLX. It starts off at $50K. A 2022 is $26K. And if you invest, and look, here's the beauty of investing. I invest $500. Then I make $700. I take the $200 that I made, leave the $5 there, and I put it over here in Meta. I invest in Microsoft. And I make the $200 out. I take the $200 from Microsoft and I put it in Meta. And Meta goes up. And I made $500 in Meta. Guess what? I take that money and I invest it again over in Netflix. And then that stock goes up. Guess what? You continue to build your wealth. And then you continue to invest and invest and invest. Then after a while, you start getting what's called a dividend. What is a dividend? When you invest enough, you get basically profit sharing. And now they're giving you money for owning a portion of that company. This is what I want us to do. Stop giving away our money. Put it in the stock market. Is it a guaranteed bet? No. But guess what? If you put $5,000 in the bank at 0.1% interest today, you get absolutely nothing. I got 0.1 interest on 3 different investing platforms just for having my money on that platform. Guess what? I made a whopping 8 cents last month. I made 8 cents last month just because I invest. We must get to the point where we invest in our time and mental instead of waiting. It's not a difficult task. You know how to get in contact with me on Blue Sky. Hey, here's a stock tip. Today, I invested in Blue Sky. When I started with Blue Sky today, it was 16 cents a share. 16 cents. So when you say you don't have it, you are not. You have 16 cents. 16 cents a share. By the end of the day, let's look at it. I said I was going to do it live on air. By the end of today, it is Blue Sky. It is called Blue Sky Digital. They are up to 41 cents today. Yes, indeed. I made a little piece of change. I need you to make that same little piece of change. Remember, I just tripled my money. I almost tripled my money. And all I did today was breathe. Thank you for tapping in. This shit, man. HRap. I see you tomorrow. Before I go, this is what I want you to do. Make sure you tap in Friday. Friday is my Black Friday. I call it Black Friday. Why do I call it Black Friday? Because I give you Black books to read. I give you Black movies to watch. And I give you Black vendors to affiliate your money with. So we can continue to bounce our money in our community and do what we have to do to survive. I am HRap. This is End of the Bench Media. It has been 25 minutes with HRap, but you.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why